Hi, Capricorn. This is a general reading for the sign of Capricorn. Oh, that's a lot, Spirit. If you have Capricorn anywhere in your birth chart, this is your reading. It is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. You know what is for you and what is not for you. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, this week, the moon will be in the last quarter phase in the constellation of Libra. With that, we can experience a strong need to bring balance and harmony into our lives. And do not be surprised if, in an attempt to keep the peace, that we find ourselves not asking the hard questions. Maybe not asking the hard questions of ourselves or asking the hard questions of those that are surrounding us. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, the third quarter moon is a time to practice self-care. And as we get towards the end of the week, the moon will move into the waning crescent phase, and that is a time to practice forgiveness. I think that is wonderful energy to bring in the new year. Do take time this week to really practice self-care. I will post in the description box a simple relaxation technique that I like to use to treat myself and to really help bring myself into a more connected, a more tranquil state of mind. This week, Mercury also goes direct in Taurus, and our thoughts will shift to maybe being a little more practical and a little more methodical in what we do. And we will want to bring logic and order into our lives. The foundation of this reading is the moon card. You know, before we go to that foundation, let's do our ESPs cards. If this is your first time tuning in, what we've been doing is we've been practicing our intuition. We've been practicing our psychic abilities. We have these various shapes that we have, and I've just been selecting one of these cards. And let's do this card right here. And then I'll have a quick look. Oh, I don't think we've had this card before, Capricorn. And so I'm just going to really send that image to you. And if at any time during this reading you believe you know what image that is, just write that in the comment box or not. And then at the end of this reading, we will reveal that image and we will see if we were able to connect this week. And the foundation, the basis of your reading this week is the moon card. And it is driven by the chariot card, the action, the victory. If we would like to achieve a victory, if we're wanting that win, this week it is going to require us to ask the hard questions, to ask the questions of ourselves or of others that maybe we don't know what the answer is, or maybe we're unsure of what the answer is. But Spirit is letting you know this is the week to ask the hard questions. And by asking the hard questions, we will receive the victory that we would like. And let's see how that plays into the rest of your reading this week, Capricorn. And we start off with the Four of Cups. And this card has come up in quite a few readings this week. And I believe it is speaking to the shift, the change that is coming in, to where we are looking, we are focusing, we are using our energy for the spiritual, for the emotions, and for the non-physical. And so we are shifting to a more spiritual being, a more spiritual way of being on the planet, and seeing and experiencing that gift. And it could be as simple as the gift of gratitude and the gift of thanksgiving that we have received the ability to experience life on a spiritual or emotional level. And that brings in victory, that brings in passion, that brings in fire. And using our passions and our desires to create the life that we would like to create. Capricorn, Capricorn start off 2024 with a newfound wisdom and strength. And that newfound wisdom and that newfound strength, where Capricorns are we are wanting to really move in a different direction. And one of the best ways to move or to change our directions is by asking ourselves, where do we see ourselves at this time next year? How do we see our lives at this time next year? And I want you to really know and to really believe and to really trust, Capricorn, that this is your year. 2024 is really going to be a good and wonderful, positive year. And you're going to be able to manifest what it is that you're wanting to manifest. And do know that the sky is the limit. And, the wonderful thing about goals, and if we're looking at a goal for the end or this time next year or even 5 or 10 years from now, the wonderful thing about those goals is that they change with us. And those goals are not written in stone. Those goals are just a guidepost. And when we add love to whatever it is that we are doing, everything works out for the better. This is your time, your season to manifest. And to begin that, it does start with asking those hard questions. And even if you ask a question and you do not know the answer to that question, or if who you are asking that question of, if they do not know the answers, simply by asking that question and seeking the answer, we are moving in the right direction. And even if the answer is an answer that we may not be open to receiving, I think that is, even if we are asking a question that we are not open or do not like or appreciate the answer. Even having the answer that we do not want allows us and gives us the freedom to make the adjustments that we need to make in order to move forward towards our goals. And look at this beautiful world card here, Capricorn, in your private life, in your home life, in your personal life. And that is a gift. You are receiving or have received a wonderful, beautiful gift that was destined for you, that was slotted for you. A quiet shift, a quiet change. And then we have the King of Pentacles, which is the richest and probably the most abundant card of the tarot deck. And the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, if we look closer at that King of Wands, if we look at that look on his face, he is he has found a place of appreciation for his passions, appreciation for his desires. And you know, sometimes we do have desires and we do have passions, and sometimes those desires and those passions, we feel uncomfortable if we want to partake in those, or we feel uncomfortable if we try to manifest those or experience those. It's like the guilty pleasures. But here I see you coming to a place where you are comfortable and you are happy in moving towards, in partaking and experiencing what it is that you are passionate about, what it is that you are desiring, and not feeling guilty about that. And that in itself is a wonderful, quiet transition. And again, Capricorn, we're looking at this year as being a year of your dreams. And you are on fire. You are passionate about chasing, about achieving, about manifesting your dreams. And you can achieve anything. The sky is the limit. And you are making room for the new by letting go of the old. And you know, many times letting go of the old, it is very deep and very meaningful. But many times that is an experience that is ours alone. It's that quiet movement within us that makes the biggest changes. And then here we have the Magician card for you. I love that we have the Magician card for you. That Magician is really learning, he has the knowledge, he has the wisdom, he has the tools to create. And he's new at it. He's just beginning at that. And take your time. No pressure. And here we have that intuition card. And I think there was a few times last year during your readings that we really talked about you really having that intuition and practicing to use that intuition. And again, that's why we kind of we purchased these ESP cards in particular for the sign of Capricorn, so that we could practice using our intuition. And again, here I see Spirit asking you to practice intuition, to connect with your spirit, to connect with that inner knowing, that inner knowledge. And you are more psychic, more intuitive than you give yourself credit for, and to learning to trust that. And there we have the Judgment card again. Judgment in your favor. A new start, a new beginning. And what a wonderful time to get that new start, new beginning. And letting go of the past, letting go of the old. Capricorn, this beginning of 2024 is really about setting solid foundations. Solid foundations for the rest of your future. And when we're talking about building and setting solid foundations, we're talking about letting go of the past, putting the past behind us so we can focus on building the future and building solid foundations. And I really see you doing that this year, Capricorn. And that is well, before I let you go, have you thought of this card? I think of all my shapes, this may be my most favorite shape. Did we think about the waves? Did we think about the squiggly lines? If so, I'm so glad that we were able to connect. If not, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly wonderful. It's about practice. It's about the practice. It's about the practice of connecting. And that is the message that I have for the sign of Capricorn. Thank you, Capricorn. You have a blessed week.